It is rewarding the subconscious mind for manifesting something that you wanted. So it's like a 5-year-old child. Your subconscious mind is very literal, it's unbiased, and it is like a child. So if you are rewarding it by saying, good job, like, look what happened, and you're congratulating yourself, your subconscious mind knows, hey, I did something good. I need to keep doing more of that because I am getting recognized, I'm getting praised, I'm getting congratulated.
Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Join me every week. I release new episodes every Tuesday. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Medium in the Middle podcast. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie. I am the Medium in the Middle, and this is episode 68. I am very excited to share this week's episode with you. I have so many goodies, and I just can't wait to share this conversation with you and share some updates with you. So I will start out with, I want to say the biggest update, but I have two really big updates. So we'll start off with number one. Yes, I did complete a PSYCH-K course this weekend. I know a lot of you on Instagram saw and was following me along, and you're really excited for when I will be offering sessions. I'm going to be talking more about PSYCH-K today. I'm going to do a whole episode on it because there's so much to know about it. And I'm also going to be offering in-person PSYCH-K sessions and distance PSYCH-K sessions. So this will be a service coming up for you. It's just going to be launching in a few weeks because next Tuesday, February 2nd, I am launching my 8-week development course, and I'm very excited to share the name with you all. It is called The Awakening. I selected this name because I didn't want it to be mediumship focused or Reiki focused or any kind of very specifics. Although we'll be talking about Reiki, we'll be talking about mediumship, we'll be talking about spirit. I wanted it to be more about your awakening and everything that happens when you start to have your spiritual awakening. So it'll be launching next Tuesday. It is a group development program. It's 8 weeks long. It's every Wednesday, starting February 24th until April 17th. So on the Wednesdays, there's going to be classes and lectures where I talk about different topics. And then every other week, there's going to be question and answer. You also get included the March meeting in the middle access. You get a 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with me to use over the 2 months that you're in the course. You get access to a private Facebook group for all the students to connect and share your experience. I really think this is going to be the most powerful portion because it's important to know that you're not alone, what you're going through. You're not the only one, and you can share your experience and read about what other people are experiencing. And you also get access to all of the content and all of the replays. So if you can't make it live, you will be able to access that. So the Awakening 8-week development program is launching February 2nd. There is 22 seats. So if this is something that you feel is for you, the course is launching Tuesday, February 2nd. It is going to be $555 Canadian for the 8-week program. I'm so excited to be offering this. You guys have been in my DMs for so long asking for coaching. And although one-on-one coaching isn't in the cards for me right now, I do want to support others going on the journey. This is all the information that I wished I had at the beginning of my journey when I was trying to figure out what was happening to me. Am I a medium? Is this spirit? What do I need to know? So if you're feeling a little lost, if you're needing help, come join our group. Come join the Awakening. It's going to be magical, and I cannot wait to feel the energy in this group. So speaking of cards, before we get into everything else, let's pull a card this week. I'm going to pull from the Colette Baron Reid Enchanted Map deck. As always, if you want to see the card, follow me on Instagram at Medium in the Middle or Facebook Medium in the Middle. I always post the card on Tuesdays, and it's just a little piece of information. What do we need to know this week? What's the universe need to tell us? Maybe a little reminder. So I'm going to give the deck a shuffle and see what it has in the cards for us this week. Okay, so as I was shuffling, this card literally jumped out at me. Card number 11, Balancing Act. So funny. Oh my gosh, this is for me. You are calm within, no matter the fluctuation of outer conditions. There are times when things seem a bit topsy-turvy, and it feels as if you're juggling 1,000 balls in the air. Yeah? Perhaps you're unsure of your footing. Now is the moment to evaluate which areas of your life need balance and then restore equilibrium. Choose harmony over discord, and great success will be yours. You'll find inner stability when you choose a balanced, focused, and level path. Ooh, guys, okay. This is resonating with me. So yesterday I had to officially resign as being a yoga teacher. I know that right now we're not doing in-person classes, but it's just been on my mind recently. How am I going to balance this once everything comes back? And already on the go, I have my courses launching on Tuesday. I have PSYCH-K that I want to add. In-person Reiki is back. I'm changing my systems for my whole back end of my business. So it's just like a lot of moving parts right now, and something's got to give. So I just pulled the trigger on that decision to leave teaching yoga, which is something that I love, but I'm just realizing that I can't just do everything that I love. And I have a lot of passions, and there's a lot of different things that I love to do, but I really need to be focused. Medium in the Middle is growing, and I'm happy to do all those things. And I'm not able to add PSYCH-K to my offerings without removing something. So that's really important, that sometimes you have to give up something in order to have something else. So while it felt like a loss, I was also very proud of myself for making that decision and honoring that I need time to move around and to give somewhere else. So I need to say no to something. So I hope that card resonated with you. See what is going on in your life and where you need this balancing act card, because for me, that definitely made sense. So currently, you can still book distance Reiki with me online and also Akashic record readings. I also have in-person Reiki in Banff if you're in the area. That's all back up and running, which I'm very grateful to have. Soon, PSYCH-K will be coming. I'm guessing about 2 weeks. Next week, I'm launching the 8-week course, and then I'll get everything sorted on the back end and be able to launch PSYCH-K. I will also be doing a full episode about PSYCH-K because I have so much to talk about. Everybody needs to know about this. This conversation today with Jocelyn is going to be a little tidbit about it, but I'm very, very excited. So I posted on Instagram a little snippet of 3 Google questions about PSYCH-K, and I just thought that it was really concise and gave you the information. So I wanted to read that to you. So this is just from Google. What is PSYCH-K therapy? PSYCH-K allows you to quickly and painlessly change your subconscious beliefs that are limiting the full expression of your potential in life. This includes your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. Is PSYCH-K real? PSYCH-K is a unique process evolving from years of split brain research and hundreds of sessions with individuals and groups. It creates a receptive state of mind that dramatically reduces resistance to change in the subconscious. The subconscious mind can be accessed in a way similar to a personal computer. This was probably my favorite part of the course, dealing with the right brain and left brain, subconscious, and your conscious mind. Again, I'm going to spare this because I want to talk about it more in detail later, but the last question that I wanted to bring up was, what is the PSYCH-K process? It's based largely on whole brain integration processes derived from years of brain research. It is a simple, direct, and non-invasive way to change self-limiting beliefs at the subconscious level of the mind, where nearly all behavior originates. So with PSYCH-K, we're working with your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and we're reprogramming your computer. That's the easiest way to say it. What beliefs do you have that are holding you back? What needs to be reprogrammed to, let you move forward? So in today's episode, I'm very excited to share with you a conversation that I had with Jocelyn Pettitt. we met actually at the Banff Wellness Retreat this year. And the first time she did a presentation on emotion code and body code, and I sat in on it, and she taught us how to muscle test. I talked about this on my Instagram stories, and I was so intrigued. And the next Banff Wellness Retreat in November, she talked about PSYCH-K, and I wasn't able to sit in on it, but I was like, what is PSYCH-K? And she kind of quickly explained it to me. It's about reprogramming your mind, working with your subconscious. And I was like, everybody needs this for manifesting. Like, everybody needs this. She was like, yeah. So anyways, through that, we ended up doing an exchange, and I ended up sending some of my friends to her. I ended up buying some PSYCH-K sessions for gifts and just becoming obsessed with it. And then she said, hey, Steph, I think you should take the course. You seem really interested in it, and I really think that this would be good for you. So there's actually a course coming up in 2 weeks in Calgary, and I jumped on it. It was a small course because of COVID, and I was able to get a spot. So that's kind of where this all came from. But Jocelyn and I had this podcast from even before I knew about the course. So I'm really excited to share this conversation. Jocelyn is a certified emotion code and body code practitioner, as well as an advanced PSYCH-K facilitator. And I'm really excited for her to share about these 3 modalities because they're so interesting. I love when I get to learn a new energy modality and then share it with you, the listeners, because I just find it so interesting, the different ways that we can communicate with our bodies, speak to our inner wisdom, speak to our inner intuition, and find out more by digging deeper and deeper. So I'm going to jump into this conversation, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm really excited to have Jocelyn here with me today, and I'm excited to introduce her to the listeners because we actually met at the Banff Wellness Retreat, and I just wanted to first welcome Jocelyn. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Stephanie.
I did want to start off by just saying how we met. So we both went to the Banff Wellness Retreat last year, I guess, in 2020. And of all the presenters there, when you walked in the door and I was like, ooh, who is she? And we ended up meeting and chatting, and we did an energy exchange. So through that, we had a really cool connection. And I was like, I have to share this modality with the listeners because before I met you, I didn't know anything about what you do. So I'd love to hand it off so that you can introduce yourself and let the listeners know about you.
Thank you, Steph. Well, I felt the same way about you when I walked in Banff on this retreat and saw you at the table. My energy just totally resonated with your energy. So thank you for this opportunity to speak on your podcast. So I am an energy therapist is what I like to say in general. So what does that mean? I work with energy. And I am a certified emotion code, body code practitioner, as well as a PSYCH-K facilitator. So it's a couple different modalities, but I use it together in combination to have some powerful energy shifts for my clients.
Yeah, so I think I told this story on the podcast earlier where I actually got to sit in on your presentation, and it's when you taught us the muscle testing, the swaying yes or no, and I was joking around that on my yes or no, I almost fell forward and fell backwards.
You did. Yes. It was funny. You were really moving.
Yeah, it made me so interested to kind of learn more and be like, "Oh my god, we know about muscle testing. We know about put this thing in your hand, test if you need it or not." But you take it to another level. So could you maybe explain that area first before we dive into the other fun things that you do?
You bet, 100%. So, one of the first things I love to teach my clients, especially because 90% of them or more are distance sessions over Zoom, is to teach them how to self muscle test. When you are muscle testing, you are actually in communication with your subconscious mind. So, you're allowing your body to answer you. And this works exactly the same way a lie detector works. So your body will always tell you the truth because it really is unbiased and does not care. It's not opinionated. Your subconscious mind is very literal and will give you the yes or no answers that you're seeking. So when I empower my clients to learn self muscle testing, it's super fun because when we're working together over Zoom, I can say, all right, can you test and confirm with your body? Just let it show you how you're responding. Do you have this emotion or do you have this, trapped energy? And their body will fall forward in a yes. then we will remove it and clear it during the energy clearing. And I'll say, okay, I would like you to sway test that again. And their body will answer them that it's gone, and they will sway backwards. So the sway test is one of the easiest forms of muscle testing, I think, to teach somebody in a short amount of time. And then once they've learned that and mastered that, then they can progress to do some other easier forms. And I think you've learned it as well, the finger muscle testing. So that is basically like one of the first steps I do with my clients.
Yeah, so that was actually super fun. After I learned that in your class or your presentation, I started like showing all my friends. I was like, it's so cool. She taught us this, and then you can test with your finger. And it's interesting because I really like to talk about pendulums.
Mm-hmm.
And once someone was like, well, I don't have a pendulum. And I was like, oh my God, you could use your body. Like, I totally forgot. So it's super cool. And then so we did, full disclosure, we did an energy exchange and I got to experience this. And I think it was really cool because something that you said was that we are dealing with the subconscious. So I just want to talk about that a little bit because in my mind, there's certain things where I'm like, oh, I know the answer to that. And then your body sways the opposite way. And it's like, but I really like the way that you explained that your subconscious is so different than our consciousness of like what we know we know. So
Mm-hmm.
could you maybe discuss that, like in your experience, what you found with the difference?
You bet. Yeah. So the way the subconscious mind works is it basically records every single moment of our existence. It is a computer and it knows everything there is to know about our spirit. And our conscious mind is what we use in everyday functioning. It's our talking, it's our, decision making, it's those types of simple acts. But our conscious mind really is only about 5% of where we go in life. And the
Oh,
driving force.
wow.
Yes, the driving force is the subconscious mind, the computer, the programming that's existing in the subconscious mind is actually driving you to where you want to be. So if you consciously say, yes, I would like to, make $5,000 a month, but your subconscious mind says, no, I don't believe that, or no, you're not worthy of that because of the programming that's existing in there, then you are likely not going to be making that $5,000 a month because the subconscious mind is the driving force of where you go in life.
Yeah, and I'm excited to talk about that later on because then we're getting into Psych-K. But I do want to kind of explain to the listeners because when I discovered you and the modalities that you do, it really kind of lit me up of like people should know about this. People need to know that this exists because I didn't know that it existed and I'm in the energy world. And not that I should know about everything, but when you find a new cool modality, it's just like, oh wow, like people need to know about this and that this is available for them and that the reprogramming is available. That's what I really enjoyed about it. So could you maybe explain body code and emotion code? Because those are so fascinating. And the more that I learned about them through what you offer, it was really interesting to see how much control we do have if we are aware of it.
100%. So, Dr. Bradley Nelson, he is the creator of the emotion code and the body code. He was a chiropractor, and it's a fairly new modality, like within the last 20 years. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so it's a very new modality. And he was a chiropractor who used to pray for his patients actually before they came in and ask for assistance from a higher power on how he can help them. Eventually, he would use muscle testing with his patients and develop this system. So once he realized that muscle testing can communicate with the subconscious mind, you can use it to ask anything about your health. So he started with the emotion code, which was brilliant. It's a chart of 60 emotions that are just general. We know there's more emotions that exist, but 60 emotions. And you can use the muscle testing to determine which trapped emotional energy exists on a person's energetic field. And once you've discovered which one is there, then you can release it using the emotion code techniques. But really, the first step is to discover, hey, what is causing that shoulder pain that that person has? Yes, it may be a physical thing like a torn ligament or a torn muscle, and that is a physical problem. But is it something else? Is there something else causing that neck tension or those headaches that are having, you up at night? Or is there something else that is blocking you from sleeping? And when we ask the subconscious mind, that's when we can get the answers. Is it a trapped emotional energy or is it something else?
So this is really interesting. So I might be mixing the two up, but we did both emotion and body code. And what
Yes.
I found was really interesting is that you go through the list of emotions and you actually say when a certain emotion got stuck in the body, like at what age. And mine was really interesting because it was all the same age. And for me personally, I was like, I know exactly what happened at that age. It was when I was going through my breakup with Joe and I was moving across the country and there was all of these things coming up. But could you just kind of dive into that? So the idea of kind of the emotions getting, I don't want to say stuck, but on the body at a certain age and then how that kind of moves with us through life.
100%. So basically, I mean, we are human beings and we are going to have these emotional experiences. It is part of what makes our life colorful and interesting. And so you have these, more positive emotions and then you have these lower vibrational ones. So what happens is that sometimes when you go through life and you have an intense emotional experience, your body may lodge that experience somewhere. It may get stuck. It may get stuck on a certain organ and gland, or it may get stuck in your neck where you carry tension, or it may contribute to something that we call the heart wall, which is one of the most basic things, but one of the most important things that I work on with clients. So the heart wall, it starts to develop. I'd say it commonly starts to develop in early teens, but I've seen it on children as well. And it happens when you go through this intense emotional experience. Let's say, like, a teenager has to present in front of a class and is super, super anxious, and the heart feels like it needs some sort of protection. It will take that energy from anxiety and put it in front of the heart as a protection barrier, almost like the heart needs a bunker, a safe place. So you go through life and you go through more experiences that are emotionally intense, and your heart wall just starts to build and build and build and build. And what ends up happening is you become jaded and you become less free, and you don't experience those beautiful emotions like love and joy as purely as you can be when you don't have a heart wall.
Yeah, and you talked about this in the presentation that I got to attend, and it was really good. I like the analogy you used. You said, so you have a heart wall, which is we could say you're wearing like 20 sweaters. And as you send emotion out, it has to go through those 20 sweaters, those 20 layers
Yes.
before it actually gets out, so then it's muted. And in the same way, when you're receiving emotions, love, anything, it's going through those layers before it hits you. And this like really resonated with me because I was like, that makes so much sense. And we all have these experiences.
Yes, 100%. And that's why we see children as, oh, they're so innocent and they're so, pure. It's true. They have no heart walls. They haven't been through life yet. Most children, I'll say in general, have not been through these difficult situations where the heart wall has needed to build up. But
Hmm.
then you can meet people who feel like they have this huge heart wall. Like, you can just meet them and think, oh my gosh, that person has a wall up. They're so cold. You cannot get in. Almost everybody, you've probably met somebody like that in your life. And it
Hmm.
is a literal energetic wall that exists. And
Yeah.
now we know how to muscle test and figure out what is in that wall so that we can release it. Because, yes, as you were explaining, if you send out the emotion love from your heart and it has to go through this wall of low vibrational frequency energies, it doesn't come out quite the same on the other end, and vice versa. If somebody is sending you the emotion love, you are not going to feel it as purely as you can be with that heart wall because you've got the blockages. And the exciting thing about clearing it is, A, it will give you so much relief in life, but B, you'll be able to manifest and attract things more easily because we use our heart to generate those emotions that want to bring into our lives what we are trying to attract. Quite
Yeah.
often, people will clear their heart walls, and then if they are single, they will meet somebody very shortly after.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that. So I want to talk about my experience with you clearing my heart wall and also a good friend of mine who also went and saw you. So I'll start with hers because hers is a little bit crazier of an experience, but she had, I think, a few sessions with you and you cleared the heart wall. And we'll talk about kind of how you do it and that it's not just like an instant thing.
Yeah.
But within literally, guys, 2 weeks, she met someone. They went on like 3 dates a day for a few days in a row, and they're like in love. And she hasn't been in a relationship in over 10 years.
Oh my
So it was amazing. And then we were talking about it. She's like, yeah, it was like my heart wall was cleared. And then I was just ready for a relationship again.
yeah,
And it's funny because when you did my heart wall the first time, so you do a little bit at a time to remove the heart wall. You can't just all of a sudden break it down.
right.
Um, it was interesting because the next day you messaged to check in on me, and I was like, I'm feeling emotional. I'm feeling sensitive. I was like, all of these things. And you were like, yeah, because your heart wall is lower. You like feel things more. And I
Yes,
think I was so used to, I don't want to say not feeling, but yeah, having that filter that
yes.
it was interesting. And then you just recently cleared the heart wall for me. And it almost feels like, yeah, you're a child again, like re-experiencing emotions, like, oh wow, I'm really feeling this. I'm really going through this. I'm really experiencing this. So could you just explain how to remove heart walls? Like what do you do to do
Yes,
that
of course.
process?
Yes, yes. So in my emotion code and body code sessions, I work on the heart wall first. That's the first thing that I tackle. I measure it. I find out first how high of a heart wall somebody has, and I
Yeah,
will
and full
give them that
disclosure,
number.
mine was like 80. So I don't
That's
know if that's good or bad, but
yeah, it was 80 feet. I do measure in feet because our training was in American training. But anyway, so yeah, so you get a number and that heart wall will just tell me, okay, so we're approximately here. That gives you like the visual, that gives you the idea of how high your heart wall is. And we are recommended to release about 8 to 12 emotions in one session on the heart wall alone. So it's not too overwhelming for the client.
Mhm.
Because imagine if you have all this armor and protection and then all of a sudden somebody takes it off and you're naked, you're going to feel completely vulnerable.
Oh
And
yeah.
so your heart has to process, about 8 to 12 emotions a session. And I'd say on average, I can clear it between 1 and 3 sessions. So it's not like it's an ongoing process forever. And it is dependent on what kind of experiences people have been through in their life. But once you have cleared it and you've gone through the processing, the only way I can describe it is like a weight has been lifted off your chest or your shoulders, and you have this immense relief. And as you explained, you start to experience life a little bit more
Mhm.
fully.
And I think it's cool because I do work with Reiki energy, so I understand that type of relief, but
Yes.
this seemed very different. So although it was like you're still moving energy and releasing different things, it was different than Reiki. So I think we connected because we both understand energy on a different type of level, but it was really cool for me to see this kind of different modality where it's still releasing and still working on different areas of the body that I didn't even know I could have a heart wall until I met you. And then seeing the difference and now you clearing it has been really, really cool experience to kind of compare it to what I know and what I'm used to in the Reiki world.
Thank you, Steph. Yes, and all energy healing is helpful and effective, and they all target different areas and do different things. And so I think just the emotion code is just a little bit, it's like a laser point. We are
Yeah.
asking a specific question to the subconscious mind, what trapped emotional energies exist on this heart wall. And so I think it's just that laser point and then identifying, okay, this is the emotional energy. It's been called and it's been discovered. Let's release it.
Yeah, totally. So that was kind of our first meeting because I sat in on your lesson. I got to experience the muscle testing. And then when we met again at the second Banff Wellness Retreat, that's when you were talking about PSYCH-K. And that's when my ears really perked up because you gave me like a quick and dirty, like 2 minute explanation about it. And I remember my eyes went wide and I was like, everybody needs to know about this. So I know you recommend the processes body code and emotional code first, but after you work through these, then we move on to PSYCH-K. And this is what I'm really, really excited to talk about. So could you just explain what it is first, and then we'll go into
You
kind of
bet.
like the deeper dive of it?
Yes, yeah. So PSYCH-K is once again using muscle testing and communicating with the subconscious mind. But instead of looking for energies to release, we muscle test affirmations to see if the subconscious mind believes a certain goal statement, and it can be anything. It can be something as simple as, I am the source of my abundance. if you don't believe that, then your sway test or the person's body will fall weak and go backwards. Or if I'm the facilitator, I will muscle test on their behalf to see if it's strong or weak. So that gives us a good insight then to discover what limiting beliefs a person has. And once we know what limiting beliefs exist, we can reprogram them using PSYCH-K.
Yeah, and this was so cool for me because, like we mentioned at the beginning, the difference between conscious and subconscious. And I like the way that you explained it to me, being like, yes, Steph, consciously you can believe that, abundance is coming to you, you can create abundance, all of these things. But if your subconscious doesn't believe it, if deep down you don't actually believe in that statement, then that's where the block is. That's where there's something that's going to be limiting you.
Yes.
So, that was what I was found so interesting because I feel like so many of us, we can tell ourselves things or, we say mantras in the mirror until we believe them. But there's certain ones that subconsciously don't sink in with us. So that was super interesting. And then I actually got to experience one of these sessions as well, where we went through the list of mantras or how you say it. And then some of them where you test them on a scale of 1 to 10 and you were like, "Oh, you got a 2, Steph." I was like, "What?" Like, I thought that I really believed that. But it's interesting to see what your subconscious believes.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool experience for me.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It is very empowering to know that we can discover this stuff about our health, about our
Yes.
subconscious programming, and then we can work to change it. Because the thing is, like you just explained, if you are saying a mantra like, I am ready to receive all the love and joy and abundance that's coming into my life, yes, that can be very well enough. That can be enough for you to start attracting it because your focus is there. However, if you do have that deep rooted limiting belief in the programming, which is 95% of where you go in life, it's that computer. It's like, I have been programmed to do this or to believe this.
Mhm.
It's just, you're not going to move on that statement. And so I do like to recommend the emotion code, body code before Psych-K, only because I love to clear low vibrational energies to bring a person's vibration up higher. And
Okay.
the body code is super effective in discovering mental statements that need to be cleared. So there's things in the body code such as idea allergies or despair anchors, and all of these things are in the subconscious level. So we can muscle test what statements actually need to be released and cleared as a blockage and get that out of the way. And that's when I like to say, okay, let's move into Psych-K. 100% somebody can just book and say, I would love to work on Psych-K and manifest this. Yes, we can do that also, but I totally believe let's raise the vibration. Let's clear off this past stuff so you're not dragging it along with you
Mm.
as you move into this new future that you want to create.
Yeah, like kind of doing a little reset before you go about it.
100%. Yes.
And what I really enjoyed about the Psych-K session is that we get to keep kind of all of the statements and see where we were on them. So you kind of explain it as like a 0 to 10. 2 is less than 5 is weak. More than 5 is, fine. But then you get to keep the statements that you say like, hey, look at all the ones that I can now identify as being low or that my subconscious doesn't believe, and these are the things I can work on. But you actually help to clear them. So we did a few together where you muscle tested and got the body subconsciously to move, to believing these statements, which is so cool. I think that's really, really interesting that it can be changed.
Yes.
So a lot of times I feel people feel hopeless of, how do you train the subconscious mind? How do you move past these things that you feel like are just ingrained in you, where people like you can help us?
We all have the power to do this. And it is just a matter of discovering where those limiting beliefs lie. So, like you said, on a report or during a session, I will muscle test certain belief statements and say, like the rating 1 out of 10 is not really Psyche. It's just because we're in a distant session and I can't muscle test your arm in person. So I kind of grade it. I'm like, well, how much in alignment are you with that statement?
Mm.
How much does your subconscious mind really believe it? Is it like a 1 out of 10 or is it a 5 out of 10? And a 5 out of 10 is kind of that person's neither going here nor there. And I will see that in the sway test too, because somebody might say something and they are not moving forward or back. Their subconscious mind doesn't even know yes or no.
Oh,
Yeah. And I see that when it's a dead 5 out of 10. So I like to do the number rating. That's just me personally. And I do like to give my clients the list of limiting beliefs, because once you know what they are, you can focus on them through daily repetition, through, hypnosis if you like, or you can book a session with me and we do another PSYCH-K where we program it in one session, and then you can kind of see how your body responds before and after. So you'll see your body falling weak on the statement. It will sway backwards. We'll do the programming, and then you'll see how your body goes forward.
yeah. So another cool thing that you and I talk about a lot on Instagram is how this ties into manifesting. And I think this is something that I really wanted to discuss with you because I feel like we all know how to manifest, and there's lots of things online that we can look up. But I feel like this is next level manifesting. This is going deep into your subconscious and really doing the work. So, what's your kind of perspective on PSYCH-K and manifesting and that connection?
100%. I think it is manifesting. I think what PSYCH-K does is just get you in alignment with what you're trying to achieve. So you may be
Okay.
traveling like one path in life, and then do a PSYCH-K session where you've programmed 1, 2, 3, or 4 statements. All of a sudden, your path has just shifted because now you are more aligned with what you are trying to achieve by that programming. So that's what PSYCH-K does with the manifesting. You have to believe it. Your beliefs create your reality. And if your subconscious mind does not believe what it is that you're trying to manifest, then good luck. It's just
Yeah.
going to be working against you. So this will kind of get it working for you. It's like giving your subconscious mind the map of how to get there.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. So, so cool.
Yes.
Anyways, I found this super interesting and I was like, I need you to come on the podcast and share this information because, yeah, like I said, when we discover a new modality or something somebody like you who is offering this type of service where it can really help people. And I also love that it's empowering, right? You bring them on the journey, you inform them, you tell them what's going on. It's not just you doing the work behind a screen and then letting them know it's complete. So similar to me, you do your appointments via Zoom and it is very interactive. Like I really enjoyed mine. I thought it was fun.
Oh, and I likewise enjoyed your sessions too, Steph. And I think, I want to call you like a master manifester. I see you all the time manifesting things in your life, and you share the stories, and it's so exciting. And it is true, because in the business that you're in and in the business that I'm in, when you work for yourself, you are literally creating your own paycheck. And when you are
Mhm.
creating your own paycheck, you need to become a master manifester. I remember when I jumped into this business full force and decided not to go back to work, there would be times that I had one appointment booked. It was like a $45 subscription or something. And I think, okay, well, I need to plan out what I want for this week. I need to do some PSYCH-K. I'm going to write down my total of what my goal is and focus on it. And when you give your subconscious mind that symbol, that focus, like this is what you want, and you have complete faith that it's coming to you, you start to see it just happen in your life. You just start to see it happening.
Yeah, and that awareness piece too is really important because I like to share my like little manifesting stories and my big manifesting stories because they're not always massive manifesting stories of like I want $5,000 and it came to me.
Right.
Sometimes it's just like I really want to find this shirt in the store in my size and I'm going to look around till I find it. Whatever it could be, but yeah, I really enjoyed that because I don't know, to me it makes sense. It made sense in my mind, my logical thinking brain. I was like, if our subconscious doesn't believe it, how can we really be manifesting it? Like we
Well,
need to
I
go deep,
love
we
that
need
you
to do the work.
celebrate. Yes, and I love that you celebrate the little things too, because those little things are things that your subconscious mind did for you. And it is
Mhm.
rewarding the subconscious mind for manifesting something that you wanted. So it's like a 5-year-old child. Your subconscious mind is very literal, it's unbiased, and it is like a child. So if you are
Yeah.
rewarding it by saying, good job, like, look what happened, and you're congratulating yourself, your subconscious mind knows, hey, I did something good. I need to keep doing more of that because I am getting recognized, I'm getting praised, I'm getting congratulated. So even in PSYCH-K sessions, we celebrate. When we've programmed an affirmation, I make my clients do a happy dance with me or do air high tens because I'm like, your subconscious mind needs to know that it did something good. The celebration is a huge part of the process. So I
Yeah.
love your stories.
Oh, thanks. Well, I think that's something that I really learned in 2020 was to celebrate the small things.
Yeah.
And it was because I feel like we were robbed or stripped of so many of the big celebrations and
Yeah.
the big things that we know to celebrate, that you had to kind of find joy in just the everyday things. So I just started doing that. And now I really see that, yeah, like manifesting breeds more manifesting breeds, and it continues and continues.
Yes.
So
Yes. And when manifesting abundance, you have to get into the flow. There is certain laws of the universe that you will learn that gets you into the flow. So I totally see that as well with you. When you freely give, you're also open to receiving. You can't have that fear of lack. And I
yes.
say this a lot of times in my posts. There is no lack in the spiritual realm. When you have faith that it's coming. It's coming. The abundance is there for everybody to take. It is there for everyone. And so, yes, you have to also be a part of that abundance. You have to wish it for others. You have to love people who have abundance. Because if you
Yeah.
don't, if you look at them and there's jealousy or envy, or you're like, oh, you have no respect for them, your subconscious mind is looking at that and saying, you don't like that lifestyle. So I'm not going to
Aha.
give it to you. So one of the things about wanting to live and create that life for yourself is also wishing it for others, loving it for others, blessing their success and looking at
Mhm.
their life and actually sending them good, loving energy, because that's where your subconscious mind is like, ah, I see. Okay, that is a good thing. That is not a bad thing. A lot of people have limiting beliefs about people with money.
Yeah. No, it is so true, and I love that you brought that up because I feel like that was another really big lesson I learned last year when I feel like the shift in my manifesting really started. It's like, okay, you know what? I got 10 coins, I need to give out 5 coins. Like,
Yeah.
we need to make sure that who needs it? Where can I help? Where can we, celebrate others? How can we all be lifted up together? And I was listening to, I believe it was a podcast, and they were kind of explaining this idea of lack. And you might believe that there's too many people already in your industry. You might believe that too many people already do it. You might believe whatever to believe that there's not enough money for you. And the example that this podcast gave was, okay, you can believe that if you want to, but for every corner that there's a Starbucks, and we're in Canada, so I'm going to use this Canadian reference, every corner that there's a Starbucks, on the other corner, there's a Tim Hortons. And there's a Tim Hortons and a Starbucks, and they're both still open, and they're both selling coffee. So
Yeah.
if they can be kitty cornered on every other street, all across Canada, and they're just selling coffee, like there's totally enough room for everybody, and there's enough abundance to go around. You could stay with that analogy of like there's enough people wanting to drink coffee that they can literally be right beside each other, and they're both still in business. So
Yes.
that for me was just like, "Oh my god, that makes so much
It's a
sense." Like,
great lesson to learn. There's no competition even in the
mhm.
work that I do. If people want to become an emotion co-practitioner, I send them the link. I'm like, do it. Do it. There is so much healing to be done in this world. And just like somebody resonates with a certain hairdresser, how many hairdressers are out there? And they are
Yeah.
always busy. They're always booked up. There are people who will resonate with you, that will find you, that are meant to work with you. And there is no lack. There is no lack of abundance. There's no lack of people or healing to be done. So, like you said, when you realize that, and you just got to keep the flow going, you just have to,
Mhm.
wish success and abundance for others so that that good energy is coming right back to you.
Yeah, and you almost have to wish, I find, like, others' success before yours,
Yes.
because it's your gratitude towards what you already have, and then you're like, "You know what? I want that person to succeed more than I need to succeed," or "I want this before I get this." And it's funny because I say this example a lot, but my grandma always says, Steph, like, if you teach everybody how to do what you do, like, you're not gonna have any more clients, your business is gonna stop." And I was like, no, no, like, that's not the mindset that we have here. We wanna teach others to do it for themselves. And like, that's more empowering than like, oh my gosh, I'm going to teach everyone how to do Reiki. And then there's going to be no one else to be my client. And it's funny how, yeah, your mindset can shift your reality.
100%. And they will be drawn to you. They will be drawn to you, the type of person you have. I mean, the energy you have, the type of person you are. And they'll say, yeah, I want Steph to teach me my Reiki because I love what she's doing. I love what she's teaching. I love her stories. They will come to you. The people that are meant for you will come to you. And I'm the same way. There's about 5,000, I think, practitioners, emotion code practitioners that are certified, and a little over 1,000 body code practitioners in the world. And when people want to learn this,
a lot, actually.
yeah, it's been around for about, body code is a little bit less because it's a newer modality. The emotion code has been around for over 15 years, I think. And PSYCH-K has been around since 1988. So it's also a new modality.
Interesting.
But when people want to learn, I encourage them. I'm like, here's the link. If you have any questions, I'm here. I can help you. I can't teach you, but I will help you and mentor you if you need that guidance, because there are so many people in this world. And if we live in a world that is healed, if we live in a world where heart walls are gone, we're going to be living in a better place. So let's bring up that vibration. And the only way to do that is through our own personal healing.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's interesting how we hold on to certain things so tightly because we think of this lack. And it's funny, like I always try to say, like, I will share any information that I know. There are no secrets. There's nothing that I only need to know that you can't know. But we all need to always be mindful of this. Like, people will slide into my DMs and ask me, like, how do you teach Reiki online? What do you do? What systems do you do? How do you and I will tell them everything. I'm like, this is how I do it. This is how I set it up. This is how it works. This is how and they're like, okay, thanks. It's like, please go teach Reiki.
Yes.
Let's hit more people. But in the same way of abundance, you want more people to have abundance because then we all have it and it's available for all of us.
Yes. Then we got to keep the flow going, because if somebody has $2 and they hold on to those $2 because of a fear mentality, right? A fear consciousness, they're only going to have the $2. But if a person comes to you and says, hey, Jocelyn, I'm going to give you $1, half of my, wealth, so you can teach me how to manifest more. And they leave with $1 and they have this new belief and this new mindset, there now is the possibility for them to receive more because they are not in fear consciousness, right? So it is a matter of the belief. You have to believe that more is coming. And there was this story I read in one of my books and this is like way back when they used gold nuggets, where there was two people who had no money, and they gave one gold nugget and they said, this will bring you prosperity, to one person, and they gave the other person a gold nugget and they said, this will bring you prosperity. And so the person who believed that it was a gold nugget went on and became very wealthy. And then the person who didn't believe it was a gold nugget went to go get it tested, and it was just brass, and they remained poor. So it just kind of shows, honestly, it is the belief that creates your reality. It is everything.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I think I was talking on a live and that came up. It's like, yeah, if you have, your $2 in your hand and you're squeezing your hand closed because you're so worried to lose your $2, your hand's not open to receive more because you're holding on so tightly to what you have.
And you're not contributing to the society or the flow. And so I also tell people, if you want a session and you can't afford it, I will trade with you. I'm so about energy exchanges as well, because that still keeps the flow of abundance going.
Yes.
And I've had some pretty cool trades in my life with the services that I can offer, because I'm open to receiving. I don't block that abundance through any form. And I also want people to experience what I do. So I'm always open up to energy exchanges. Like we had an energy exchange. I think it also keeps the flow of abundance. If you feel like you don't have something to give, think again, because everybody has a service that they can offer to this world. Everybody.
Oh, yeah. I love that perspective. So cool.
Yeah. That $45 story was this week. I was like, I need to create some clientele. And it came like, it was so interesting. I did a Psych-K balance for myself on Sunday, and I'm like, what do I need? And I go through this list, and it told me something about tips. And I'm like, tips? Like, nobody gives me tips unless it's in person. And so I thought that was interesting, but I still did it. And then Monday, I did this half-hour complimentary session for a friend in Mexico. And that person turned around and sent me $150 when I was planning like nothing. I'm like, this is complimentary. I just want you to experience a bit of Psych-K and body code. Yes. And I saw an e-transfer for $150. And what was cooler was like the day before I had sent my mom $150 for her birthday. So
Exactly.
I was like, you saw on my bank account minus 150 plus 150. And I was like, oh my gosh, that Psych-K thing on the tips like was crazy. I didn't even expect it, but it just came. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like 4 or 5 clients a day. And it was just unreal. And they were booking like that day or for the next day. So they really were last minute peeps coming in. And as tired as I was just so grateful that the manifestation had come to that. I generated my paycheck this week. Like it came. I'm going to add it up at the end, but like it happened. So this is real. Like this Psych-K is crazy real.
Yeah,
How
no, it
works.
is so true. And that's funny because this week I had the same thing. I had like 2 bookings for the whole week. And it went up to like 6, which is still like okay. But I was like, I didn't manifest more appointments because I was like, the universe is giving me the gift of time because I need time right now.
Yes. You were saying you were taking a few
Yeah,
days
well, I
off,
just like,
right?
2021 planning, and there's a bunch of like business things I need to do for the new year. I needed to just like my to-do lists are just like growing and growing and growing. And I'm like, I need time. And I will continue on the hamster wheel if I don't get it. So when I saw like an empty week pretty much, and I was like, thank you, universe. Like, you know what I need more than I know what I need. And I like, I'm not worried. Like, I know it's going to be fine. It's just, yeah, it's always interesting.
Yes. And I know, and you know, the energy goes down for so many people that we love that are in this businesses that are shut down. Even my mom. And it's like, I'm so sorry you can't do what you do because they shut you down. And I feel like I totally feel for them, but I think like the universe is also telling people, do not rely on anybody else for your source of abundance. Like you need to rely on yourself. You are the source. Source is the provider. There's abundance there, but you need to figure it out. You need to figure out how this is going to come to you, how this is going to manifest. Because yes, we do need hairdressers and estheticians and, you know, all these people who do those physical jobs, but they also have to go within and figure out what are they meant to be doing? What can they do? Or do you realize now that how quickly things can turn around and your abundance is almost like stopped dead in its tracks?
Well, and it's
like,
funny
it's
because
crazy.
like my whole business started out of the first quarantine, like almost a year ago now, but this all existed because I was sitting in the dark, like the worst month of my life being like, what can I create? What can I do? How can I make this better? And it forces you to like, make your own abundance and be in control.
Yes, and when I tagged that girl on your post, it's because I was telling her, she's a hairdresser, and she's like, and she's also into Reiki. So I said, there's a girl who teaches Reiki. She doesn't have her master's yet, but she's like, she's teaching classes all the time. You need to watch her stories. Like, it's amazing what she does and how she sells them out. And she's like, okay, I will check it out. And I'm like, yeah, I think you need to start focusing on something else because they keep shutting down the hair salons.
Well, and I think it's true. Like we kind of do need to see someone else doing it to believe it. And that's just like our our humanness. Like we don't believe it till we see it. So it's like, hey, like my biggest month of business was December, and I was in quarantine the entire month.
Oh, that's so amazing. And that's such a huge success. And I love that. Like, I love that you celebrate that. I love that you recognize that. Same November, December, very strong months for me. And about like being the success and the example, I remember sharing a post. And I don't remember who said it, but the greatest gift you give others is the example of your own life working.
That's good.
Yes. And I don't remember who said it, but it's so true. It's like you are an example. You can show them what's possible, by your
Yeah.
success and wishing others success. But I thought it was beautiful too. The greatest gift you give others is the example
Yeah,
of
that
your own
is
life
really,
working.
really nice. Well, I really appreciate you coming on to the podcast and sharing this with the listeners. I feel like when I found you, it was like finding a secret, and I was like, "Oh, like everybody has to
Thank
know
you.
about this." Like Psych-K, body code, emotion code, it's so useful, it's so helpful. So please let the listeners know where they can find you, how they can book an appointment, your social, your website.
Thank you. Well, I have Facebook, EdsonEmotionReset.com. I have a Facebook page. Instagram is the same thing at Edson Emotion Reset. I think I gave my website. It's EdsonEmotionReset.com. And email is EdsonEmotionReset@gmail.com. So all the Canadian peeps, they are able to email and book with me if they want a session. And everybody who's international, they can book straight through my website. But yeah, I look forward to helping anybody who resonates with this message. If they think it can help them, I'm happy to share the things that I've learned along my own healing journey.
Yeah, amazing. And I will leave all of those links down in the description so you will have an easy click to access Jocelyn. But I really recommend this because it's different than Reiki. It's different than kind of any other modality that I've seen where it's empowering. And I always talk about, taking your healing into your own hands. Someone's not going to come with a magic wand. But your magic wand just like has a direction. Your magic wand has like, these are the things that you can highlight. These are the things you can work on. So I really love that.
Aw, thank you, Steph. And I love what you do too. I'm so grateful to have you in this world, shining your light and teaching other people how to do the same.
Oh, thank you. So thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steph.
I just love that conversation so much. It lights me up, especially when it comes to manifestations. I mean, I feel like this is something that we all want to work towards. We all are always trying to get better at. On that note, on Thursday is the next meeting in the middle, and we're talking about how to manifest. So you still have time to jump on this train. Thursday, January 28th, 6 to 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's $11. We're talking about how to manifest. I'm definitely bringing in some of the Psych-K things that I learned this weekend. I've also just been diving deep into tangible things that I can share with you guys about how to manifest in your everyday life, big, small, little, the little things you want, the big things you want. Let's get into it because I love this stuff. It lights me up. So if you're interested in joining, that link will be down below in the show notes, along with my website, how to book an appointment with me, all my socials, all of Jocelyn's links. They'll all be down below in the show notes, an easy click away. So I look forward to seeing you if you are coming to the meeting on Thursday. It is also on a Leo full moon, which Court has told me is an amazing time to manifest. It's an amazing time to process and think about these things, especially as we go through it. So I find it's really interesting. This is the second time that a meeting has fallen on a full moon where the moon intention matches the theme of the meeting. So it's crazy how everything works out and falls into place. If you can't make the meeting in the middle live, you do get a recording sent to you. So everybody who signs up gets a recording and you can listen to it afterwards. They're an hour, they're so fun. And it's a way that I can teach you guys something every month and bring people together so that we can share our experiences. And I usually pick a topic that I find is resonating or people are asking about a lot. So in December, there was a lot of manifesting happening. I was sharing a lot on my Instagram stories. So I was like, you know what? January, the start of the year, we're going into 2021. Let's talk about manifesting. Let's talk about the goods. So join us on Thursday. It's so fun. It's only $11 and I have the best time in those groups. So thank you for listening. If you are new, I would love a rating and a review if you use iTunes. I really appreciate it. It helps other people find the podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast and I will pop up in your library every Tuesday when we release new episodes. Next week is when the course is launching, so stay tuned. The link will be attached to next week's podcast and it will be on Instagram, Facebook, and my website, themediuminthemiddle.com. I cannot wait. I hope you all have a wonderful week. See you next Tuesday in your ears. Have a great week, everyone. Goodbye.